Web animations are like salt in your food. If you give a proper quantity of salt in your food will be tasty. But if you overdo it, you cannot eat that food. Web animations or the CSS animations are exactly like that. If you give a proper quantity of it in your applications or website, that's going to bring a different dimension to it. But if you overdo it, you may make it unusable. So, we are going to talk about 5 rules of CSS animation. But hold on. Today, with modern web development, we already have enough libraries and framework that takes care of animations and all the background thing by itself. Then why do you have to know about these 5 rules? Why do you have to know about CSS animations and its fundamentals anyway? Yeah, is because if you want to debug things or if you want to know like how the things work under the hood or you want to experiment things on your way, you must know this. Also, another thing is whenever it comes to CSS and the CSS animation, there is definitely a myth around that this is hard. I want to prove to you that this is not hard. This is as simple as learning anything else. It's just the fact that you need to know how to learn, and whatever I'm going to teach you here, you are going to practice it with me and you are going to improvise on top of that. After that, you are going to like and love CSS animation a lot, and I'm sure that you will be start doing things on your own after this video. Let us now quickly look into some of the framework and libraries that gives you lot of opportunities to work with animations. For example, Tailwind CSS, one of my personal favorite, that provides you some of the classes out of the box like animate spin, animate ping, and etc., using which you can do animations just in a snap. But if you want to look into things that is going on under the hood, for example, when you say animation ping, there is something called ping. One is there is something called function like cubic bezier, like how all these things are there. Like what are those things? If you want to know them, or even if you don't want to know them, but you want to extend some of the existing things from Tailwind CSS and want to write something of your own animation, how are you going to do it? Believe me, in a production ready application, you have to extend things like Tailwind CSS and you have to make things of your own. So there, if you have to define something of your own, I think if you don't know the background of it, if you don't know the foundational things about it, it will be a little difficult for you. Similarly, tools like Frame and Motion, if you just go to their example page and try to look into things, you will get and hit with the jargons like keyframes. You will hit with the jargons like animate. What are those things under the hood? In CSS world, how does it work and why is it important to understand and to work with? That's something that you need to understand. Or for that matter, React Spring, where you have things like from and to. So what are those from and to? What are these coordinates and all this stuff that you need to understand? So once you get to know these things, the best part is you will be able to improvise on yourself. You will be able to make a lot of animations by yourself and you are gonna like it. Without any further delay, I'm going to get started with those 5 rules of CSS animations and going to teach everything with plenty of examples and hands-on. You are going to work with me, you are going to do this hands-on with me, and you are going to do improvisation with me. And if you're able to do something really cool improvisation you want to share with me, please join tapaScript Discord channel and you can share your code pane or any other links where I can go ahead and see the things that you are actually coming up with. All right, so let's get started. But before that, if you like this video, please like and share and don't forget to subscribe. So what are those 5 rules or facts? We're going to talk about CSS animation. The first thing that we're going to talk about something called appearance. So whenever you're dealing with CSS animation, you have to first understand what does animation appearance means. After understanding appearance, you have to understand the animation states, then the timing, then you have to understand the rule of multiple animations work together, and finally the animation events. So everything around animation, web animation, is around these 5 pillars. So we are going to talk about each of these 5 pillars with a lot of examples, starting with appearance. Animation is the process through which you bring motion to something static, right? Whether it's an image or an object, whatever it is, whether it's 2D or 3D, you want to bring certain kind of motion to it. Now, when you want to bring motion to a still object, you need to know where it starts from and where it is going to. Where it is starting from and where it is going to. So this from and to, this is what together bring the appearance for an animation. From where to where the object is going, that's the appearance for animation. And in CSS, the appearance is always defined by something called keyframes. A keyframe in animation and also in filmmaking is about drawing that defines the starting and the end points of a smooth transition. So if an object, if you take like this one, if this guy has to move somewhere here, the transition will happen from here to here, right? So this transition is defined by something called keyframes in CSS, and that defines the appearance. So that's the first thing that we are going to learn with examples. And I'll be creating small multiple examples so that I can make you understand all of these fundamentals: appearance, states, timing, multiple animations, and the events one by one. Let's go there. In my VS Code, I'm going to create multiple project folders so that I can keep each of this project description and the demonstration separate. So first I'll create a folder called maybe a simple animation. That's what we're going to start with, called simple. And inside this, I'm going to create a file called main.html and another CSS file called main.css. So for the first example alone, I'm going to show everything like step by step, but for the next example onwards, the things are going to be same. So you will see already a HTML and the CSS file created, and I'll start coding from there. All right. So once you are in HTML, you can use emit to create a structure of it, and then put like simple animation. And here you will be importing the CSS with link colon CSS. So here you can import the main.css file we just now created. And in this particular example, we are going to animate a text, a very simple text we are going to animate. So for that, let us create a div, and inside the div, I am going to write, I'm so animated, but I animate once. Okay, some simple text. Now at this stage, if I just go and use the live server from VS Code, I get to see this string. I am so animated, but I animate once. Fair enough. Now go back to VS Code again. Now our animation code will start. Now before we jump start into animation, we have to understand few syntaxes. All right. The syntax is that about keyframes. I told about the keyframes, which is like animation appearances. Like, so first let's understand what is a keyframe, and then we'll understand how am I going to use the keyframe into other CSS classes in the other CSS properties. Now we know keyframe, which defines the from and to of an object in case of animation. So if this is a div and I have to really animate it, I have to put some motion, that means I have to define a keyframe of it, where we can define from where the motion will start and till where the motion will go. After I define this with keyframe, I will take that keyframe object or the keyframe reference to define my animation. As simple as that. But before we go there, let me add a simple class to it called box, so that this div looks like a box. Okay. Now I'll copy this, come to main.css file and define some simple CSS property for box. What it is, I'm given a width, height, some padding, some border radius, a text align center, a font size of 60px and a border. Very simple. No animation, nothing so far. So this time the box look like this. I'm so animated, but I animate once. This looks little bigger. Now the first thing we'll define is a keyframe, the animation appearance. For that, do add keyframe. And the keyframes always take an identifier. This identifier you can give any name. So for example, I'll give a simple. For example, it is a simple animation, so I'm giving the name called simple. Now here it will get two attributes. One is from and another is to. In this from and to, you define different attributes. I'm going to put an animation such that the box that I have created is background color will be first orange, text will be black, and from there with animation, the background color is going to be green and the text color is going to be white. That is the thing that I'm going to do with my animation. Okay, so this is what it is. So it means from orange and black, it is going to be to green and white. So from, I can say whatever the object it is, the background color from orange and color from black, it is going to be a background color that is green and then color going to be white. Okay, so this is what I am defining at this box's appearance when the animation happen. So at the starting, this is the definition of that box. At the ending, this is the definition of the box. Okay, so from to understood. Now after that, I am going to work on my animation CSS property. For that, I'll be creating another class called anim, and here I'll be using something called animation hyphen name. And in this animation hyphen name, I have to use the identifier that I have given to the keyframes. So this is how I'm referencing keyframe to my animation properties. Okay, so this anim can be any name that you can give, any class name, but animation hyphen name is coming from CSS, and it takes the value that is an identifier of a keyframe. Okay, so this is how I'm attaching. And then along with that, I can give another property called animation hyphen duration with 5 seconds. Apart from appearance, there was also another rule called timing. So this is where appearance and timing I am mixing together. I'm giving a timing like this animation should run for 5 seconds, where the beginning, the background color is orange, color is black, and at the end, after 5 seconds, it is going to be green and white. You're with me? So this is what it is. Now I have this new class. I am going to go back to my HTML, and along with box, I am going to put this anim. All right, so I'm done with this animation code. Let me go to the UI and see how it looks. See this closely. All right, it animated once. So first, orange and black, green and white. So my first very simple animation that I have done. I have not really moved anything. I have not really changed anything, but there is a small animation for 5 seconds through which the text and its background property has got changed. Good. Our first animation is done through which we understood keyframes and the animation appearance. How to define keyframes in percentages? Okay, when we did from and to, actually you can imagine that we are moving the keyframe from 0% to 100%. All right. Now between the 0% to 100%, you can create your own breakpoints. For example, from 0% to 20%, you want background green. From 20 to 40% you want red, from 40 to 70% you want orange, 70 to 100% you want white. You can do that. Okay, so from 0% to 40% you want to move it little bit right side, then from top, then from down. So you can do that. That's how the keyframes actually define the appearances. So in this example, we are going to do that. All right, so let's do this. So what I have done here, just like before, I have created a new project called keyframe percentage. Again, added a main HTML and the CSS file. In the HTML, I have imported the CSS file. Now here I am going to create a div just like before. And here just let's add a text. I'm demonstrating keyframe percentage, and here let's add a paragraph. What I'll be demonstrating is 0% to, let's say, 25% to 50% to 75% to 100%. So it means I'll do the keyframes in a way. On the 0%, it has some value, 25%, it has some other value, 50, 70, and 100, each of these percentages, it will have different value. Okay, so just like before, we'll be creating a box so that we can identify this div correctly. So I have created box. I'll go to main.css. Let's create a box just like before. Let's add some property to it. So I've added a box, which is having an orange as a background color, some padding, some width and height, border radius, border, text align is center, font size is 60 pixel, a simple one. Okay, now I have to do the keyframes, the main thing with percentage. So I'll do keyframes. So here identifier I can take as percentage. You can give any name. Okay, so the identifiers we are going to define is on 0, 25, 50, 75 and 100. All right, so this is how we define. First is 0%. Remember last time you did from and to, so their from was 0%, to was 100 if you don't define such breakpoints like this. Okay, now I'll copy this and let's do 25%, 50, 75 and 100. So I have now defined all the breakpoints with keyframes. Now each of these breakpoint, I can define what I want to do. What will be the appearance on my animation? Okay. So beginning it is orange. So I'll keep it just orange in the 0%. Okay. But once it is reaching to 100%, I might change it to background red and the text color is white. Something like this. Now in between, in 25%, it can say go to green and white. 50%, the background color can be gray and this color may be black. 75%, let's go to pink. This may go black. All right. So I have defined what it should be, the appearance should be on each of these breakpoint. Now, as I have defined this, just like last time, I'll be defining another class called anim. And here I'll be giving animation name, the same name, which is like percentage. And let's give an animation duration. What duration we can give? Just like the last time, we'll give a 5 second. Okay, so as the anim class is done, the only thing left is going to the HTML and apply it. Cool. So now the box is having this anim. So that means the box will have an appearance at 0%, 25, 50, 75 and 100%. All right, so let's go and see the UI. All right, we're seeing it changing, isn't it? Superb. Did you see that? So let's see it again. Orange, green, gray, pink and red. So on each of those breakpoints that we have created, we are changing the appearance of this box using animation. So now from simple animation to little bit advanced animation, that's what we have done. Next, with animation, we are going to move things. So far we have not done any moving, we are going to move things now. So folks, are you enjoying it? If you enjoy, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share this video. All right. Okay. So with this, we'll be moving to the move, Okay. So the next one. For that, I have already created a project called Move, and in that I have a HTML file already we had before and a CSS file. And in the HTML file, I have created a div. I'm having a text called I am moved and given a class called box just like before. And in the main.css file, I have the definition for box, which is having width, height, color, a background color, some padding, border radius, border, some positioning, text align and font size. Very basics thing. So let's see how does this look like at this point of time. This is how my div look like with the text. I am moved. Now we're going to really move this guy. Okay, so let's do this. Go back to our CSS file. So here, first we're going to define the keyframes and we're going to give an identifier. Let's give it like move. And what we are going to move. For example, we'll be doing something like this. So this is our square. We are going to move this square from here to here, then to here, then to here, and again to bring it back to its old state. Okay, here. This is what we're going to do, right? It will start, say, at 0% at a certain position. Then on 25% of keyframe, it will go somewhere. 50% of keyframe, it will go somewhere. 75% of the keyframe, it will go somewhere. 100% of the keyframe, it will go to the place where it started from. We are going to play with positioning. Consider this one. So this is what you need to also create, like kind of a mind map. So this corner is always left 0, top 0. All right. Now from here, you will move it to here, means you will move, say, left 200 pixel, but top is still 0. Okay. And then if you move over here, that means you are moving both left and top. So say 200 pixel, 200 pixel. And then here, when it comes here, then it may be left 0 because left is already 0. Again, when you come back here, again left 0, top 0. So now you are getting like what we are doing. So the 0% of keyframe, left 0, top 0. 25% will give a new left and top value. In 50% will give another left and top value. In 70% will give another left and top value. 100% will go back to the initial left and top value that we had created. This is how we'll be able to move this guy. Now, along with this movement, we can also change their background color. So let's go real funny. So from here, they might be starting with orange color. When they come here, it will be green color. When they come here, it is red. When they come there, white. When they go back, it will be yellow color or could be orange color, any color that we need, right? So with that, let's go and start doing our keyframe stuff. So just like before, we will define all the percentages under keyframe. So I've defined 0 to 100. Because we need all the positions. And then for 0%, what we'll do, we will do a background color. Let's start with orange. And in this state, the left value is 0, top value is 0. Okay, this is how we have started. Now I'm just going to copy this guy, of course, with a semicolon and paste it for 25%. Change few values. Say orange, I'll make it green. And we want it to go right side. That means the left is going to be 200 pixel, but the top is remain same. So left will be, say, 200 pixel. I want to move it to 200 pixel with the same line. So top is going to be 0 pixel. Again, I'm going to copy this one for next one. I'll make it red. In this case, both left and top will have 200 pixel because it would have come to from here till here, this point, actually bottom right corner. So both are 200 pixel. Then the next one, let's give it white, left 0, top 200 pixel. And the last one, we can give this color as pink, or we can set it back to orange if we want, and it will be again 0, 0. As usual, what we are going to do, we are going to create our anim, a class, and here we are going to give animation name. The name should be move, just like before, right? We have learned that. We will give an animation duration. How much we can give? We'll give probably 5 seconds. Now we will learn few more properties, timing related properties and state related properties. Okay. So we will do animation hyphen delay. What is animation hyphen delay? With an amount of delay that you are starting this animation. So when I go to the page, you won't see this animation is getting started immediately. It will take 2 seconds of delay and then it will start the animation. That's why I'm giving it 2 seconds over here. Okay. And then I'll give animation iteration count, how many times the animation should happen. This is a state property. So it all 5 pillar. One is appearances with keyframes. Timing, we already know. Now we're also talking about the states, like how many time it has to happen. Animation iteration count. So I can give 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. I can also give infinite time. Means keep happening, keep happening, keep happening. All right. And then which direction it should move, right? So that also I can give. So I can give like animation direction. I can give something called alternate. Means once it moves in this direction, next time it will move the other direction. How beautiful it is, right? So these are the things are enough for now. I'm going to take this CSS class, going back to my HTML. Along with box, I'm going to apply it on this box. So let's go back to UI. It will wait for 2 seconds. Starting, coming here, going there, going up. Now it will come reverse, coming reverse, going right, going up, going there. Again, it will start like this, coming here, coming there. You liked it, right? You know how it works. So isn't it beautiful, right? I'm creating something, whatever I want. So with Kelvin CSS, if you want to do it, you can always do it because you have all these properties available and you can write your own animation. Isn't it cool? All right, let's go back to code. Now here, I am going to teach you something. The syntax that I'm writing over here for animation, this syntax is a little bit bigger. In real life, you won't write a syntax like that. So an alternate syntax is what I am planning to write. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment out this particular CSS, and from this on, for all the examples, we'll be using this particular syntax. Same class. Here, I'll be using a property called animation. So far, I was using a property called animation hyphen name, animation hyphen duration, all these things. But instead of that, I'll be using something called animation. Now, how does this animation work? It takes few properties one by one, side by side. The first thing that it takes is called the animation name. So you can give the animation name move, which is like move. Okay. Then it takes duration. For us, duration was 5 seconds. So I'll give 5 seconds. All right. Then it takes a timing function, which I have not taught you yet. I'm going to go there next. So I'll be skipping the timing function. So if you're skipping the timing function, don't put anything for it. Okay, just skip it. Then you put a delay. Delay means it is like 2 seconds of delay. Okay. Then you put in which direction the animation should happen. For us, the direction was alternate. So we'll give alternate. Then the animation iteration count. So our iteration count was infinite. We'll give infinite. Then you give other things like play state, fill mode, which we have not used. So don't have to worry about it. So we have given all these things into a single property now. Animation, move, 5 seconds, 2 seconds, alternate, infinite. Okay. So overall, if you see, the syntax is like this: animation, colon, the value of animation name, then the value of duration, value of timing function, value of delay, value of direction, value of iteration count, value of fill mode, value of play state. Now, what are the values you want to use? You can give it, rest you can skip. The CSS engine will automatically identify them and will work for you. So with this change syntax, let's see now our animation works or not. 2 seconds of delay, starting, going, going, going. Now reverse mode, yeah, it's working. So good. So our movement is working. Next, we're getting into timer functions and we'll make the racing of boxes with that. You're with me? Let's do that. In my screen, you are able to see a bunch of divs, right? With the text like linear, is in, is out, is in, out, and custom. So what am I up to? What I'm going to do? I'm going to teach you the CSS animation timing functions. So CSS animations timing functions, there are some out of the box timing functions, and there are ways you can write your customized timing functions. What are those timing functions? One is called linear. The linear means the animation runs with the same speed from the start to end. Right? In the animation appearance, whatever you do in keyframes, the start and end, the animation runs with the same speed. That is linear. This is the default value of the animation. Now, if you want to change it, for example, you want to use it something which starts slowly, then pick up a speed, then again end slowly. That time you will be using the timer function called ease, E-A-S-E. But if you want something like the animation with a very slow start, you will use like ease in. Animation with a slow end, you will use something called ease out. The animation with a slow start and slow end, you will be using ease in out. Okay, if you want to write your own custom functions for controlling the speed, you will be using a function called cubic bezier, right? This is what the things that you will be learning in this timing function. So let's go back and start creating each of these function properties and see like how it is going to be different for us. So what I have done here, I have created a bunch of boxes as you see, and I have actually right now given a class name called box. So if I go to main.css file, it has this similar kind of box thing like this width, height, color, background color. You have seen it already for the previous ones, right? Now let's see how my UI looks like at this point of time. So I have this bunch of boxes. This one is like linear, is in. These are the text that I have given. Now I'm going to move this. Move this means how to move we already know. We have to fix a position first. And with keyframe, we have to define another position, and we can define the breakpoints like 0, 25, 50. But at this time, as we are focusing only on the timer function, I'll be defining two from and to, like it is start and end, 0 and 100%. Okay, in between no break. And here at 0%, it is in some position. When it goes to 100% means it is the end position. I am going to give it some positional value attribute so that it looks like it is moving from one to another. But while moving, for each of these div, I am to give the different kind of timing function. So first I'll finish writing the keyframe. The identifier I'll be using as move because I'm planning to do a move. Define the 0% and 100%. I can also write from and to. If it is just 0% and 100%, please remember that I don't have to write 0% and 100% when you are using only from and to. Instead of 0%, you can write from. Instead of 100%, you can write to. Okay. So for 0%, let's give a background color, orange. We're using orange too much today, look like. And then give a left. Let's give around 0 pixel and top also 0 pixel. Now when it goes to 2 or 100%, let's copy this. We'll just change the value. Let's make it green. We'll change the left to 300 pixel. So it means that from left to 0 pixel, all of them will move to 300 pixel like this. Okay, this is what it is about moving. Now we'll create a .anim, and here we'll be having our animations. Now we know, like, how to write the animation classes by ourselves. So we'll be writing move, that is the animation name or the keyframe name. Then we'll give 10 seconds as a delay and we'll run it for infinite time. Okay, so this is what we are doing. Now we have written all the animation properties single line. We have not broken it, right? We know how to write in single line. Now I'll take this anim, I'll go to HTML, and along with box, I'll apply everywhere. Okay. Now I'll go to UI. See this, it started moving. Now slowly the color is fading out to green. Yes. So the movement is happening, but each of them are moving with the same speed. By default, it's linear. So it's moving with the linear speed. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply ease in, ease out, ease in out, and some custom function to each of this thing so that you see the difference. Okay. So let's go back to code. Now coming to HTML, I'm going to add linear here, though default is linear, but still let me add it so that I can show like how to write with the linear function. Here is in, out, here is in, out, and here custom. Now taking each of this, I'll go to CSS. Here I'll be using something called animation timing function. Okay. So for linear, I'll be giving it as say linear. You got? Now similarly, let me define other guys also. So as you see, I have now defined ease. I have given the value of animation timing function as ease. For ease in, it is ease in. For ease out is ease hyphen out. Ease in out is ease hyphen in hyphen out. So I've defined them and those classes are already added. So that means they should now start moving differently. How about the custom? Let's define custom as well. So for custom, we will take the same action timing function, and for custom, you use the function called cubic bezier. So here you give the value between 0 to 1 into these 4 parameters so that it travels in a non-linear path. Okay, so let's take one of the example for now. By the way, the cubic bezier require some advanced animations timeout, and for that I think some background of mathematics will be good so that you know from the graph wise is like how you want to move your object around. This probably require a separate video and separate explanation. So going deeper of cubic bezier, I'll park it for now so that I can actually cover in a future video, because we are now focusing on those 5 fundamentals of CSS animation and we will be focusing on that in this video. Okay, so let's take this so that we can see a difference and then we'll go back to our UI. Let's start. Now, do you see the differences in their moving? Do you see that? See? Yeah. So they move from 0 to 1 point, they're doing it infinite way, but each of their movement has been changed because of this timing function that we have applied. And based on the definition only they are moving. Certain things are starting slow, certain things are ending slow, certain things are starting slow, going first and then ending slow, certain things are going linear way. So this is where the timing function is also important. Hope you understood the timing function. All right, now we are going to learn how to apply multiple animations. Okay, so far, whatever applied, all are single animations, right? We have created a keyframe, taken the keyframe name, putting into the animation properties, and boom, everything worked. Now we are going to apply multiple stuff at once. Okay, I have two divs, each is having a class called circle, and one of them having the text called I am bunny, another is having called I am Ginny, just to kind of differentiate them. And in the main.css file, I have created a circle class because I have applied over here. The circle class is to make a div look like a circle. No rocket science, just like a box before, but only thing that's making it look like a circle is this border radius. Okay, so if I go to UI, I'll see two circles now. I am bunny, I am Ginny, sitting in the same place, not at all moving, because we have not done any kind of animation on it. Now going to apply two animations on it. Okay, one animation will move them horizontally and vertically. For example, I am Binny will move horizontally, Ginny will move vertically, and each of them will also reduce in sizes. All right, so it means that when they're moving some places, the entire diameter of that is going to shrink. Again, when they're moving to somewhere, again they'll scale it up. Somewhere again they are moving, they'll be scaling down. So it means movement is one animation that will apply to them. Along with that, their size, like the shrinking, expanding, that's another kind of animation is what we're going to apply on them. Sounds like a fun? Yeah, let's do it. So first, I'm going to create a keyframe so that I can define one animation appearance, and this appearance I can tell like shape. And what it is going to be this time, let me define three breakpoint. One is at 0%, 25%, and 100%. By the way, you will have this code at any point in time. So please try to change and see like what kind of things happening. Try to add few more breakpoints, for example, to this application, to this particular project, and see like what exactly happens. All right. So here I'll be using a property called transform. With transform property of CSS, you can control many factors. One of the factor is scaling of an object. Scale means you can scale it up, scale it down. It means that you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. Okay, so I'll add something called transform, and the value what I'm going to add is a method called scale. Okay, it's a available method, and I am going to scale it by 0.3. Scaling by 0.3 means I'm going to scaling it down, right? Then when it is 25%, I'm going to copy the same thing because don't like too much of writing. I'm scaling it down to say 50%, and then on 100%, it is going to be the natural scale, means the natural shape. Okay, so 0% it is going by 30%, then 25% is gone by 50%, and when it is 100% keyframe, it is actually the actual shape. So this is one keyframe, one animation aspects I have already defined. Now I'll be defining two more. One is about moving horizontally. Another one will be about moving vertically. So for that, one horizontal movement, the horizontal appearance, I'll be adding one keyframe. Let's name it as move-h. And similarly, like this, I'll be adding another one called move-v, which is like a vertical movement. Now this one we have seen enough, like moving, like left to top, right? Then right to top, maybe that kind of movement. So you can also do it easily. I'm just going to use it like before. So for example, for moving horizontal, it is going to start with a background color orange. This is purely optional for moving. It's just to identify at a different state, we are giving different color. It starts with left 200, top 0. That means somewhere here. Okay, then it goes to left 0, top 0, means it comes back here. Then again is going to 200, 0, means again here. Then again come back to 0, 0. So basically it starts from here, come here, goes to here, like this. So what is vertical going to be? It's gonna be little opposite. So the vertical will be just opposite. It starts with left 0, top 0 means top left corner. Then left 0, top 200 means it comes to below, bottom over here. Then again goes back and again come down. So vertical it is just moving up and down. That's what is happening. So as I have move H and move V, and I have also called shape, it's time for me to start applying them, right? So I'll be applying this multiple animations right now. So I'm going to create them. I'm going to create them just over here. First thing I'll be creating called multiple H. Okay, means multiple animations happening horizontally. So animation is the property. First thing I'm going to apply is move H. What is move H? Move H is nothing but this particular keyframe with few other properties like a linear movement, infinite time, and direction is alternate. Now, along with this, I am going to apply another animation, which is like shape animation that I have created. So I'll be doing like shape. I can do another timing. For example, ease out. We have just now learned. Then I can give infinite and I can give alternate. Okay. So here, if you see, I have applied two animations and they are comma separated. Okay. Now, similarly, about multiple H, I can also create something called multiple V. Here also I'll apply move vertical and shape. Okay. Same thing, but move vertical and shape. Now on each of this, I can also apply a duration, for example, 3 seconds. So let's apply this duration on each of these animations. Now let's go back to HTML and start applying multiple H and multiple V. We'll apply multiple H to bunny and apply multiple V to guinea. And let's go and see our UI. Wow. We see bunny and guinea so superb way, just dancing around horizontal, vertical, also shrinking and expanding as they are animating. So here we have applied multiple animations to the object, and you know like how to apply multiple animations. So you have learned with again our fundamentals, which are appearances, nothing but keyframes, timing functions, state, and now multiple animations. Now next and the last one we'll be looking into is with events. So far in our code, we have not used JavaScript at all. We were working with HTML and CSS, but for events, we have to do a little bit of JavaScript. Why? Because when you are animating, we also get certain events happening. For example, when animation is starting, when animation is ending, when animation is iterating, for depending on what kind of element that we have applied on our CSS for animation, we also get certain kind of events happening, right? And you know that if you want to capture those events and want to take certain actions about it, you can do it using JavaScript. That's a pure DOM manipulation, right? So using DOM, you cache the element. On that, you can now put an event handler or a listener, and on event listener, you can do anything that you want to do whenever that event happen. So right now, we will do a project where we'll be doing the similar kind of animation just like before, but only difference here would be is like we'll be catching those events. For example, animation start event, animation end event, animation iteration event. And on this event, we will see like how you can attach the listener and can do something about it. But before that, let me show you a quick example of what I have created as an animation, right? I'm not going to code that because animation code we have done already, but what I'm going to code in front of you about how to attach the listener for those events. All right. So let's see the animation code first. So guys, I have an animation like this. You see that something like sliding in, going out, sliding in, going out. You can create an animation like that very easily now, right? You know like how to do it. A pretty simple code. You have a div which have a class called box. So that means that particular box you are saying, you know how to create a box now. And it has an ID called slide for a purpose. We'll see. It has a text called I am box this time to be animated, some text. And it has included a main.css file just like before, and also include a main.js file which doesn't have anything, is blank for now, and a class called anim got applied on top of it. So if I go to the project, open main.css file, this is the box that is defining the box. Before we used to use orange color for background, now we are using a different color. That's the only difference probably. And we have a keyframe that is defining a slide in. That means it's starting with a margin left of 100%. That means it will go completely outside of the screen. It has a width. When it is ending, margin left of 0% means it will come to the leftmost portion, 0%, and we are reducing the width. Okay. So this is what is happening. Going up, down, up, down, up, down. And then this up down of it, we are making it 6 times. That's what the iteration we have given, and we're doing in the alternate direction, once in this side, once in that side. So what you're saying, it is coming and going, coming and going, and the 3 second is of course the duration that what we have given. And after that, this anim and the box that we have taken, and in the HTML we are actually adding it. This is how we have done the animation so far, and this is how this animation is also done. Let's see the outcome once more with this code. Let me refresh. Yes. So coming here, even alternate, going back, again coming here, going back 6 times, it will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it is going to stop. So this is what the animation is about. Now what we're going to do when this animation is happening, I'm going to catch the events, and on that events, for now I'm going to make a console.log so that I know like, okay, I have captured that particular event, but capturing it, you can do anything that you want. All right. So let's go to the code, go to this main.js file, and here we will start doing this coding. In the HTML file, we have already imported this particular script. We have used something called defer. If you are new to it, I have created a video with async and defer. You must watch it. If you're new to JavaScript and don't know what defer is, please go ahead and watch it. The link of that video is in the description of this particular video. All right, let's proceed. So main.js, we will create a function called init. Inside this function, we will first get this document by ID. It means we will get this div by ID. So if I do document.getElement by ID, pass the ID, we'll get this particular element, right? By the way, this is a DOM operation. If you want me to make a video extensively for DOM, please let me know in the comment. And if you think that it will be good for you, I'm just going to make it. I'm just waiting for more people to tell like if the DOM manipulation would be really helpful to them or not. Yeah. So this is slide, and I'm going to go over here. I'm saying that const element equals to document dot get element by ID, and I'm passing this ID over here. Now once I get this ID, I can add an event listener to this element, right? So the element dot add event listener, that's the function, and here it takes two arguments, actually three. The last one is not required now. The first argument, it takes the event name. So for us, the event name the animation gives us is called animation start, and here we pass a listener. Okay, this is a listener. Listener is going to be another function that will be executed when this particular event happens. All right, so like this, now we are going to deal with three events. One is animation start, which we have done already. Next will be animation end, and the third one that we bother about is called animation iteration. So for each of this, I am going to handle them using this particular function. So far so good. Now I have to define this function. So I'll go ahead and write function listener. It takes an event automatically. JavaScript pass it, you don't pass it. And here I'm going to do a switch case. Okay. So switch case, it will be like event.type is what I can match. So for example, if the event.type matches with animation start, in that case, I'm going to log something into console. So I have logged like started, that means animation start. Spend time is event.elapsed time. How much time is spent? Okay. This is the information I'm logging for now. I will break from this, and like this, I'll be having two more cases to handle an end and other one. So here I have added animation end and animation iteration to catch these two. On animation end, I've given a console.log saying the ended means animation ended. Spend time is whatever the elapsed time, and on animation iteration, whenever a new iteration, a new loop starts. Iteration means a new loop starts. Whenever a new loop start, so what time that new loop has been started, this is the thing. Now finally what I'll be doing, I have to execute this init function because it's inside a function. So I'll do init. That's it. Now I'll be going back to the UI, open F12. I already see is getting logged, right? You see is getting logged. For each of this iteration is also saying the new loop started. You remember we have given 6 iterations, right? So this is how it is. So you can capture each of this event. That's what exactly we have done. And capturing each of this event, I have a listener. So this is my function. Inside that function, I can do whatever I want. So I wanted to show you, like when you are doing animation, it's not just about HTML and CSS. You can also bring JavaScript into picture, and you can handle this event and can do much more complex and advanced stuff that you would like to do. I hope you find it helpful. Just imagine whatever the animation you're seeing on the screen, how are you going to make it? I'm moving something very slowly, and then myself coming and appearing on the stage. It started from left side, slowly gone to the right side, right? How do you do this animation? What do you think the code of it would be? Let's go and see this code. So here is a simple HTML file. I have a div. It doesn't have any text because I have used an image. It has two classes. One is called image box, another is called anim. All right. Now image box is inside main.css file. Anim is also inside main.css file, and I have imported main.css file over here. If I go to main.css file, I have an image box which has used a background image to show an image. That's it. It is having some height, width, and then some border areas. That's it. But let's look into this keyframe, which we call as move, and the 0% starting. And background position is left, means entire image I'm showing the left position. On 100%, I am showing it right, complete right side. So that is the appearance of my animation from left to right. Now left to right slowly, if I have to do, for that I have written something called anim, have this animation as my CSS property. We know the value is this particular keyframe entity. Along with that, I've given a 15-second duration so that is slowly moving. Ease in, we know the timer function. That's it. See how easy it is, isn't it? Now, how this guy is happening with one background property I have done, you can do animation using the border properties, the table properties, various different properties. So most of the things on HTML are animatable. There are only few things are not animatable, except those maximum things you can apply animation on, and you can produce some of your creativity the way that you actually want. So I hope that you will make use of it. And if you create something really, really crazy, guys, come to tapaScript Discord, post your work. The Discord channel link in the description of this video. I hope I'll see you there soon. So liked it? If you liked it, why don't you like, share and subscribe? See you soon with another video. Thank you.